Namaste, oneness. Infinite gratefulness for existence. The missing element, the missing earth element in our human body system, and the importance of it that I almost forgot to take, because it's been a while, a long while since I stopped taking it, because I thought I already had it, but I arrived to a new conclusion, and that's why I start to feel to have it again, because it was missing. And here's how you're gonna find out right now in this video. Stay tuned. This is the element, the solution of iodine, and why it is so important in our everyday routine life. First of all, let me tell you a little bit about the human body system, how it works. The blood circulates every 17 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, and passes through our thyroid gland to filtrate the blood. Not really filtrate, but to clean itself, to restore. And this restoration is made through iodine. And what happens if you are missing iodine? The blood is not completing his task, so it's depleting, and your thyroid gland is made mostly of iodine, and the entire human immune system is controlled through the element of iodine. So iodine is the principal element of the human body system and of life. So through iodine, you can regulate the entire blood system, blood circulation system, the entire human system, the human immune system. So you basically control the whole 9 systems of the body with just iodine. So you see how powerful iodine is. And what happens with nowadays lives? We are totally missing iodine. Now you tell me, yeah, of course. We have iodine in the fish, and where else? Only there. We only have from the sea iodine, or in the salt. But do you think table salt has iodine? No, it has just sodium, so it's not salt at all, it's poison. Now you can go to Himalayan salt, which has very, very little iodine. Then you can go to sea salt. But the question is, do we really need salt in our life? I am a being which has eliminated salt from my everyday routine diet. So my lifestyle, I have eliminated salt because salt has its own characteristics which makes the body regulate in a certain way, where you are basically polluting the system, because the elements should not be consumed, the minerals should not be consumed through salt, because they are inorganic to you. You should consume them through food, not through water or through salt, because they are inorganic to you. They didn't transform or convert from inorganic to organic. It's the same you eat sand from the beach. The sand from the beach has all the minerals you need. But can you consume them? No, because they are inorganic to you. The body cannot consume inorganic minerals, only organic ones. So how you can access organic minerals in your body system through food. So whatever food you are taking, you are consuming organic minerals. So that's why you need a very selected diet and selected foods that can give you the whole elements for you to be complete. But then what's happening with nowadays life is that the food has been totally changed. GMO and so on, and pesticides and herbicides and everything is changing and missing and becoming incomplete and missing parts. So these missing parts are missing elements in the food. So for instance, in the past, one apple would be much fulfilling than one apple nowadays, because they are very fast production and they have to grow fast, they have to produce fast, they have to be all very fast without completing the natural process. And this makes missing elements, missing parts on our food, which gives us less efficiency in all the nutrition. So we start to be unnutritional or disnutritional. No, there's a word for that. So missing nutrition in our human system, and iodine is one of them. Now you can tell me, of course, but I eat fish and everything, so I am complete. It's not that you are complete. We must see that we have to follow the alchemy board. I'm not a scientist on this, pay attention. I'm just one that has researched well enough this to know the basics of how to handle my life in the higher way where I can achieve enlightenment. So all the rest, of course, there's a whole world in alchemy, there's a whole world in everything that you're gonna search, but you gotta go a little bit basic so that you understand the basics of life, and then you can continue. Because what good is for you to understand 100% something and 0% of everything else? I prefer to be one that understands the basics of each category that I need for my life to be the highest vibration as I can be right now. Then I'm gonna research and become and absorb all the basic information of each category, each theme, so that I can make a full package for good to go. So that's what I'm sharing with you, and I'm giving you the whole basics of this. And if you check the alchemy, the elements, iodine is in the same alchemy vertical line, let's say, on the board of fluoride, which means if you are missing iodine in your thyroid gland in your entire system, but who regulates the iodine is the thyroid gland, which is your throat chakra. If you are missing it, it's going to be replaced by fluoride. So if you are having more fluoride intake than iodine, your thyroid gland is gonna regulate and clean the blood with fluoride, man. Imagine. That's why fluoride infiltrates into the blood, because it's very small molecules, which then travel in the blood system and starts to calcify, filtrates, and goes inside the bones, because the body is so intelligent that if you have fluoride regulating all the time in your blood, you're gonna be killed. So in order to protect that, it's gonna send the fluoride to the bones so that you can still live, but you're gonna start to be calcified. And another part is so sensible, it's our pineal gland, because the blood has to travel to the pineal gland, has to travel through all chakras. So when it passes through the pineal gland has some kind of magnetic field to it and some crystals to it, which then absorbs the fluoride into the pineal gland, the same as the bones. So it's like the body sends the fluoride to the bones, but the pineal gland also absorbs it. So that's why you start to be much more calcified in the pineal gland than any other part of the body. But even though when it's so much, also the bones absorb. And when the bones absorb, they start to become so weak that you're now becoming much older, and you are not rejuvenating every time, every single couple of minutes, like 17. I'm not sure well enough, but you can research that. How much time it takes for the blood circulate the entire body in our human body per day. So it's going to tell you like every this precise minute that the blood has to clean itself, circulating, because it's circulating, it's not stopped, right? So it passes through the thyroid gland and uses the iodine as a principal element to regulate the entire blood circulating system, which then will lead to the all other systems, which is the digestive system, the blood system, the muscular system. Then there's 9 systems at the total. And yeah, so you don't want to replace iodine through fluoride, because that's the worst you can do. So in order to do that, you have to get one of these supplements. Now, there's a lot of percentage on this. I choose one of the strongest that I saw on Amazon, which is 12%. Now, I used to take in the past, and I didn't know the percentage because it was my brother doing at home, because you can do this at home. If you really want to, you think you can do it, then you can prepare this at home. You just have to buy potassium iodine and iodine. It's gonna come through package, and then you have to know how to mix it with distilled water. And by the concentration of dissolving one into the other, it's gonna give you the concentration of the iodine. So this one is like a 12% concentration solution. So it comes from Spain, but actually the website it's UK. So it comes from Spain because Portugal has no Amazon. Now, how to know how much iodine are you needed? Now you're gonna say, yeah, I have to go to the doctor or hospital or wherever, and they're gonna say no, and they're gonna lie to you. No, you can do the test at home. So you buy what you feel, because the more concentrated it is, the better and the most efficient it is, but also more expensive it is. But I felt to have this one the strongest because I like strong stuff, and I felt that also I'm needing in this moment, because I already stopped taking for a couple of years, like 2 years maybe, and I cannot. I should take this as long as I can, because this is one of the most important elements, as I already explained, to our human body system. Now, let's see how you can know how much iodine are you needing. So I'm gonna just show you in this cam. What you do is you purchase, okay, the iodine. So you shake a little bit. Now this is like by drops, right? So I'm gonna show you here in this cam. What you do is, with one single drop, like that. By the way, you have to be careful a little bit, because this is like betadine, and this can dye the clothes very fast. So what you do is you just mix like that in your wrist. Like that. Of course, I put a very long drop, very big drop. You can just make it smaller because you are making a test. And this is one of the ways how you can consume it as well. So what happens here, of course, you want to make just a small one. I made a very big one. It's already the second time I'm already putting today. The first was for myself, Now this is the second because I'm making the video, and the third it's because I'm gonna do the Portuguese video, so I'm gonna do in the other wrist. Now, here's the thing. After you put it, you can put a timer on your phone, wherever in your app, put a timer and see how long it's gonna take till you absorb the iodine in the skin. What is gonna happen is that this is gonna be totally absorbed. It's not gonna stay like that forever. This is something that the skin is also absorbing. So whatever you put in your skin, the skin is absorbing. Every time we are consuming. Your eyes open or eyes closed, or showers, exterior or interior, we are constantly absorbing everything. So it's a lie that we do not absorb when we are taking shower. Yes, we absorb. And most of our water in the shower we can absorb, if I'm not mistaken, 15% of everything you are taking exterior in your skin, in the shower or wherever, you're gonna absorb 15% of it. So all the water that you are having a shower, if it has fluoride, you are also absorbing this fluoride, 15% of all the water that you took a shower, 15% of it you're gonna absorb. So that's why we are constantly having chemicals and pollution and chlorine and all these things into our body system. So that's why when you are out of iodine and you are having more fluoride and other elements more than iodine, and especially fluoride, because the thyroid gland is gonna substitute the iodine through fluoride if the fluoride is higher content, if you have more fluoride than iodine in your thyroid gland. So you don't want to have that, right? So you're gonna count in the timer and pay close attention, not like stay like that, but just don't forget to watch, because this is going to be very important. Now, I had a surprise. I knew that I was needing, that's why I bought, but I had a surprise because I thought I was not needing that much, but I am, because it took 30 minutes to completely absorb, like there's nothing there. 30 minutes or 35 to 40 minutes. So it took that short time, because it's considered a short time, to completely absorb the whole iodine. And even though this is 12%, this is very strong compared to the most iodine solutions that they sell. It's 3%, 5%. Now this is very strong, 12%. And even the 12%, one drop, it absorbed in 30 to 35 minutes. That means I am needing a lot. I am like my body's struggling to have iodine. And I thought I was consuming iodine through other types of, like for example, seaweed and other stuff, but I'm thinking that this, I'm being sure right now, because it's not enough. So whatever you are even consuming in the salt, it's not going to be enough, because we should be in totally connection with iodine, like having like swimming in the ocean, and every time being in the beach, like 1 hour in the morning, we would absorb very high contents, high portions of iodine, but we are not. We are away, we are living in the city, we are full of pollution. They drop chemtrails in the skies for us, full of chemicals and everything, and this reduces a lot our iodine content in our body, and especially on thyroid gland. And there's another thing, iodine protects you. There's two types. So the thyroid gland is gonna divide this iodine. So one of them is radioactive, which is protects you from radioactivity and electromagnetic radiations. Imagine, that's how powerful we are. So wherever you're gonna travel, you're gonna pass like through an X-ray to check if you have something, and this X-ray affects us. It's a electromagnetic radiation. So to protect yourself, you should take iodine before travel. And this should be always with you. Wherever you go, pick it and take it with you. At least one time per day, you should consume this. And what's the portion? Oh, I just made dirty the bottle. It's okay. I already know what is. This really dyes everything, so be careful managing, okay? Whatever you touch in your clothing is gonna dye instantly. It's so strong. So there's two ways of taking this. You can take oral, or you can take exterior. So interior or exterior. Exterior is just put on the skin like that, on the wrist, and you're gonna consume. If you want instantly thyroid absorption, then you can just make here on your throat, and don't worry about it's not gonna go out. Yes, it's gonna go one time or the other, depending on how much you are needing. It's gonna disappear, so don't worry, because we are living beings. Everything is alive. Our skin is alive, so it's gonna work out. It's not gonna stay there forever. Okay, so as you see, it's already fading, which is I am really needing iodine. Now, don't abuse, of course. You're not gonna now like it's not like this, and it's very strong when you consume oral. Now it says here every bottle you should read, because it's gonna be different in every bottle. So for example, this one for 12% solution, it's saying if you want to use externally, just put from 1 to 4 drops in your skin, which is called transdermic way of intake. Now, internally, it says read the recommendations from a professional of health. Now, you can search on the internet, and it's gonna tell you how much you need. Now, I just follow my intuition, and is, for example, externally we need 1 to 4 drops, then you are not having any block when you put externally. That means nothing is gonna block this from consuming, which means wherever you put in your skin, it's gonna absorb instantly. It's gonna absorb the entire thing. There's nothing to block this. It's gonna enter the blood system already through the skin, and you're good to go. It's already on your blood, so it's already circulating. While when you are taking through internally, orally, that means it's gonna have the acid on the salivary system, then it's gonna also have the acid of the stomach, but it's gonna pass through your throat, which is very good. And you should consume this with water a little bit mixed, and preferable distilled water. So you should have a water distiller, like I'm gonna show you in another video, which I'm gonna make still. But if you already know what is distilled water, you should go for a water distiller, and you should start to consume distilled water. You see, this is only good to go with distilled water. So in order to do this portion, you have to mix it with distilled water. You cannot mix with mineral water or whatever, because it's gonna change the whole DNA of this. So you see, distilled water is the thing, it's the way. So you should have this all the time with you, and consume 1 time per day in the morning, and this is gonna change your whole life system, because without this you are nothing, you don't exist. So this is the principal element in your life. And the color of it's like, it becomes like reddish and orange at the same time, but when you look at it, it's like violet. So you see, this has a very high powerful color that connects to the thyroid, which is the throat chakra, and also I think it's higher realms. Let me tell you another thing. The throat chakra, the element of the throat chakra is space. ether. So it controls the ether of your being. So if you are out of iodine, you are missing the space, the ether element in your chakra system. And once you start to have this regulated, you're gonna start to enter the ether. So ether is where everything fuses. It's the fifth element after the earth element, after the water element, after the fire element, after the air. There's ether, which is the throat chakra, and after that there's no more elements. Then there's just the mind element of the third eye, which is consciousness, the visualization of consciousness, and then consciousness itself of the pineal gland. And above that, then you go higher consciousness, supreme and superconscious. So this controls the ether element, which is the fifth element, the last element of perception. You want to have a balanced ether, which controls everything else. Now you see why the thyroid gland and the iodine controls the entire system, because it's controlling the ether. So this is the main element of the ether element. What so powerful is this, right? Oh, watch out, this is oh shit, this is dropping. So I'm gonna put it in the package that came. It came in the cardboard that it's the interior of the toilet paper, but a more sophisticated one. It's very cool. So I'm gonna put inside and no longer worry about this, because this dies everything. So you should be aware on how to manage this. And that's it. That's the video I want to share with you. The missing element of our everyday life, which results in the ether element. That's very cool. So my name is Ivo Arthur, and this is One Love. We are all one. Infinite gratefulness for existence. Namaste.